Fala galerinha do CinePOP, o nosso bate-papo com Angelina Jolie e o elenco de O Grande Van, produção original do Disney Plus, não acabou ainda não, viu? E eu trouxe aqui a segunda parte dessa entrevista maravilhosa que é aqui, ó, só com a nata de Hollywood. Então, ó, se você gostou do primeiro bate-papo, você vai adorar esse aqui. Então vem comigo, porque a gente não tem tempo a perder. Bora!
Why do they want an angry gorilla anyway?
You're a silverback. He terrifies humans.
You're not terrifying.
And Mike, can you tell me a little bit about the challenges of adapting the book to the movie format?
Yeah, sure. I feel like I was really lucky because the book is so the characters are so rich and it's so emotional and very soulful for a children's book or a young adult book. I don't know how you necessarily classify it, but yeah, I think that it needed like a structure, like a lot of these adaptations, where you just need to make it more have a more of a plot in a sense, because the plot isn't really front and center in the book. So that was the biggest challenge, and just giving Ivan and Mac and arcs. Mac's arc is pretty solid in the book, but Ivan having an arc that is more classic as far as like a Disney film would require. So that was the biggest challenge, and working with Thea and the producers and Disney, it was I think our biggest challenge as far as adaptation.
In Brooklyn, there is a rumor that you and Angelina recorded some of your lines wearing an elephant onesie. Can you confirm that?
It is confirmed. So I saw Angie 2 times. The first time I met her was at the Governor's Awards, and then I saw her at the Critics' Choice Award. When I saw her at the Critics' Choice Awards, I was like, hey, we should wear elephant onesies in the recording room. And I go home and I'm like, Mama, please buy me an Angie elephant onesies. And my mom was like, I'm buying Angelina Jolie an elephant onesie to match with my daughter. What even size does she wear?
And my excitement when I got it.
Yeah, and I was there and in the onesie, and I was bouncing around like a fart in a skit. I was like, when's Angie coming? When are we gonna wear elephant onesies? And my dad's like, it's probably hot, or she might forget it or something. She comes in, she's like, and she like drops off the stuff, and she's like, you got it for me? And so she put it on, and me and her have a selfie together wearing our elephant onesies. But in the end, it got kind of hot, but we just tied it around our waists. But Angie also bought me the stuffed animal with a little baby elephant and a big elephant holding each other's trunks for Easter.
I think it's safe to say we became like the elephant family, and we got really into our characters, us too.
Yes.
And Angelina, what was it about the project that made you want to take the producer role, in addition to also lending your voice as a character?
One of my children read the book and said that they loved it, and I read it, and we kind of talked about why it was special and why it meant so much to them, and so I started to pursue, where is it being made, what's happening, and started to get involved and looked at, and even the early drafts, it was very interesting. And one of the things Mike did that I think was very special is I'd seen it start to go down a road where it really started to become a light, fun kids like action, a simpler story. It was easy to somebody to come in and just try to pick a few threads and make it quite simple and add some action here and to really make it what it is intended to be. And Disney and Mike and everybody involved really to understand that it's hard. It's not a light film. It deals with heavy issues, but it is charming and fun and full of life. But it's deceptive in kind of what the packaging. So I thought very, very important, and wanted to get involved. I like the messages in it, and I'm excited that this young generation as well. I think all of us older people will appreciate it for many reasons, but I know this young generation is really very aware of what is happening in the world to our natural habitats, to these animals, what's happening in Congo and losing ground, what's happening with the gorillas, the elephants, and they're angry, and they want to really be clear about what kind of treatment is appropriate, what kind of captivity is appropriate, again, being against poaching, being against preservation of natural habitats. So I think this will, this represents them. It represents, Ariana's character represents them. And I think that's strong for them today, to see that their actions can make change.
And my last question is for the director, Thea. Can you please tell me a little bit about the challenges of addressing animals' captivity while also making it a fun and very endearing movie?
Easy question. Yes, it was a big concern from the beginning to, again, try to not make it feel like a documentary. That's been made already on the real life story of Ivan the gorilla. And this is also, it's not just any studio, it's Disney. And so we definitely knew that there was a tone that we had to get right. And that was everything from Mike and I in the beginning working on the script and throughout, to endlessly looking with the designer, Molly Hughes, as to exactly how the domains would work physically, literally like how big the bars are, so that on camera they would have the right feel. And that sometimes there are some shots, obviously we chose very carefully when we came to edit it, that certain scenes, there are no bars to be seen whatsoever. And in other moments, we've chosen very carefully when the presence of the bars are there so that they are a constant reminder. It's not easy when your leading character is behind bars for 80% of the movie. And you have to hold at its heart that he creates a dream. He's given a gift by Stella to create a gift of a dream to get out. And as Brooklyn put it beautifully earlier, to hold on to a promise that he gives to Stella. And so throughout the movie, for example, we also made the choice to have, there's next to no green used in the movie. So that when you get to either Ivan's flashbacks from when he's a kid, which we made as green as possible and made as like the Congo as possible, or the very end when he gets to where he needs to go, again, we made that as green and as lush as possible. But every choice up to that point, with both the designer and the costume designer, we did everything to keep as much green away as possible. And if you look very carefully, the biggest decisions we had to make, I thought, because I'm a Brit, and then I realized this wasn't going to be a problem, was exit signs that over here are green, but I don't think they are in America. So although there's a nice symbolism in that, we didn't even have to deal with that. So actually, yeah, that was one of the main decisions that we made very, very early on.
That's so interesting. You thought that really does. It makes an impact. I didn't realize that, but thinking of the film, it does make a huge, strong choice.
This painting is clearly a sign he wants to be free.
What about Mac? He's taken care of me my whole life. We're family. We're in this together.